Welcome to Blues by the Beach with Bernie Pearl and Michael Barry on bass, coming to you from Long Beach, California. Beautiful Sunday afternoon in my practice room. I want to start off today's program with a little bit of a Lightnin' Hopkins tune. Actually, that's not Lightnin' Hopkins, it's his cousin, Hop Wilson. Here's Lightnin' anyway. Hop Wilson, actually, it was his cousin. He was a lap steel player, and they call him Hop. That's a variation on harp because he was a harmonica player to start off with, so they just called him Hop. Then he switched to primarily being a lap steel player. Hop Wilson. But I love this tune. It's related to Lightnin' via Blind Lemon Jefferson. I believe my baby got a black cat's bone. Well, I believe my woman got a black cat's bone. Well, I believe my baby got a black cat's bone. Seems like everything I do come out wrong. Well, I try to get along with that gal of mine. I try, along with that girl of mine. No matter how hard I try, can't stop her from cheating and lying. Baby, right. I try to treat my baby right. No matter how hard I try, all she wanna do is fuss and fight. Well, I believe my baby got a black cat's bone. Every time I leave, I just turn around and go back home. Wichita Falls, got to think about my baby. No, it wasn't no walk at all. Well, I believe I'll go back home. You miss me now, baby, but you won't when I come home. Well, I believe my baby got a black cat's bone. I believe everything I do come out wrong. Seems like everything I do got to come out wrong. Hop Wilson, Lightning Hopkins in there too, Blind Lemon Jefferson. Next song I like to do is one I learned from the playing of Brownie McGhee. I was trying to recall how I got inspired or what propelled me to learn that song. As I recall, I was doing a class for the city of LA, sponsored by the cultural department, and it was in San Pedro, and I was allowed to have 8 students, and I think we went 4 weeks, and each week I featured a different artist. And I think I chose this song because I wanted to do something from Brownie McGhee's repertoire. So here is my extended play Brownie McGhee album, 10-incher, and it's got his signature on it. Song is on there. And here's a nice picture of Brownie on the solo album. Yes, sir, Brownie McGhee. However, as I may have said before, Brownie McGhee met Sonny Terry when Sonny was playing on the street corner in Durham, North Carolina, with the artist known as Blind Boy Fuller. I just thought this morning, well, Sonny Terry's original name was Saunders Terrell. They call him Sonny Terry. Blind Boy Fuller's original name was Fulton Allen. He recorded under the name Blind Boy Fuller. Brownie joined them, and then he began playing on the street corner, and he said Gary Davis was on one of the other corners, and I forget, there was another blind musician on another corner. I forget who that was. I don't know if it was Willie McTell, it might have been. But shortly after he got there, Blind Boy Fuller died. He was a very popular recording artist of the time, late 30s, early 40s. And Brownie was kind of, in a way, propelled into taking his place. And he was recorded as Blind Boy Fuller #2, Blind Boy Fuller Jr. But Brownie was his own man and his own artist. And he quickly, that didn't really work as anything commercial for him. So he joined in with Sonny Terry, and they played together for well over 30 years. And I recall a humorous situation where Brownie was up on stage with Sonny, and somebody in the audience said, "How long have you guys been playing together?" And didn't skip a beat. Brownie said, 30 years. Pause. It's a long time to be with a man. Here's Blind Boy Fuller. That's something of the character of Brownie McGhee. He was very serious all the time. Sonny was more laid back and jovial. Brownie was a wonderful guy, and he was full of good humor and good music. So this is the Blind Boy Fuller song called Pawnshop Blues. Brownie called it Pawnshop Blues. Blind Boy Fuller called it Three Ball Blues. There's a line in the song, "What are those 3 balls?" Well, there's a different answer in the song, but the 3 balls represent pawn shop, and that was a symbol of a largely Jewish business going back to medieval times, because Christians were not allowed to practice usury, and loaning was considered a usurious practice. And So Jewish people started their businesses as pawnbrokers back in the medieval times. That was one of the few trades they were allowed to engage in. So that's a three-ball blues, and I didn't know that was the origin of it until one time I was teaching a class and somebody asked that question, and I said, I don't know. And somebody Googled it, and that was the answer they came up with. The three balls represents the adornments that are on the Torah when it's taken out of the ark for reading on the Sabbath and other holidays. At any rate, Gary Davis was the other blind person on the corner. That's right. And this song contains a little bit of Gary Davis in it. I was walking down the street this morning, heard someone call my name, I did not stop. Yeah, yeah, call my name, but I did not stop. 'Cause I was on my way down at the old pawnshop. I went to the pawnshop, my last suit of clothes in my hand. Yeah, yeah, had my last suit in my hand. Won't you help me to some money, would you? Please, Mr. Pawnshop man. Try to pawn my radio. Yeah, yeah, try to pawn that radio. You ain't got no HGTV. We don't take radios here no more. Job. Man come and he took my car. Yeah, yeah, came and took that car. Going down to the pawn shop in the morning, try to pawn this little old guitar. Tell me why three balls on that wall? They say 2 to 1 won't get your stuff out of here at all. All right.
2 to 1?
3 balls. 2 to 1, baby. Now, the next song has a couple of interesting things to it. This is an instrumental piece that I based originally on a riff from Magic Sam, a young, vital, wonderful blues artist born in Mississippi, but he recorded in Chicago, was one of the young lions of the West Side blues sound. Buddy Guy, Otis Rush, and others. And we used to play this song, or the riff, I should say. One of my students came to me and said, "What is this riff that Magic Sam is playing?" And he did that really Mississippi style. He was a Chicago blues player and a modernist, but he did that Mississippi style of play, and he used his fingers to play. So we did that riff for many years in the band. Right, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to, that was the backup for everybody. It was a lot of fun to play to it. And for some reason, at some point, I said, what can I do with it? And I started working on it and not changing it, using the riff as the premise, beginning and the ending, as you'll hear. But I filled in with some other ideas. And one of the things that struck me was that I was making up something with no chord changes. and I started thinking about that. There was one time, and I think this was truly the incident that I thought of. I had the opportunity to meet Robert Pete Williams, who was a pretty obscure artist who was first recorded when he was in prison, Angola prison, and folklorist Harry Oster came along and began recording some of the prisoners in Angola prison in Louisiana. And Robert Pete was one of the notable finds, in fact the most notable find. He sang in a very kind of a muted style, and the folklorists at the time had said that Robert Pete Williams was probably the most African vocally of all the artists who were playing. Most of the artists sang in loud voices. Robert Pete sang in a very muted kind of a tone, which was very reminiscent of some of the field recordings I've heard from Africa. And he played in a picking style, and he didn't change he didn't change chords, and it was a very eclectic and unusual style. He was not the most popular person on the circuit. He was a wonderful person. And we sat one night and played, and while I was playing with him, I wasn't expecting that he had no chord changes, and I wasn't expecting the power of his picking style. And I think that's what influenced me to go ahead with this piece that originally we called it West Side Boogie. In fact, I recorded it as a duet with Harmonica Fats. So we did West Side Boogie. I played that riff that I played, and he blew on top of it. But then I started developing the tune and took it well outside of that particular framework. So that's what I ended up calling it Outside Boogie. How's that, Boogie?
Yes, it is.
Blackberry, Bird and Pearl. Pleasure to be with you, and we hope you enjoyed that little set of 3. And we will be continuing from time to time with Blues by the Beach, coming to you from Long Beach, California. Happens to be a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and it's sunny. And we thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. So long.